Hi, I'm Laura Flanders. You're watching Free Speech TV's live special coverage of the Labor March to Occupy Wall Street. It's New York, it's morning, it's bright, and there's a whole lot going on behind me. We're reporting to you live from the park where protesters have been encamped for more than 3 weeks. Joining me now is somebody who is a watcher of movements, no stranger to GritTV watchers everywhere. He's Wright of ColorLines and The Nation magazine. You've been writing about what's going on here today. Talk about what strikes you first and foremost about the importance of the duration, this 3-week phenomenon.
I guess what I'm most interested in and most excited about is the growth and the broadening. I think today, as we see labor come out around the country, you're also seeing homeowners groups and community groups that have been organizing for a few years around this and been in the streets for a few years, coming together with the Occupy Wall Street movements in LA, in Boston. And I think that growth is crucial, and it's crucial because I do think the who matters. The crisis we're in didn't just happen, and it didn't happen to everybody. They preyed upon very specific communities in order to create the inequity that we have, and that has created instability for everybody. And the biggest tool in the bank's tool chest over the last 3 years has been keeping the people they preyed upon out of the conversation. And so I think it's really important that our politics put those people back in the conversation. And that's what's going on this week, and I think that's really amazing.
No, I asked about the duration because so much of the money media, as we call them, have asked mostly about the message and the demands. And it seems to me that simply by being here, the folks are allowing some demands to emerge. They're also allowing this movement you're talking about to build. The significance of labor coming here today, I don't think can be overstated. We have our AFSCME friends behind us. SEIU is on board. Locals led the endorsement flow. Where do you think this goes next?
Well, that's the $1 million question. I think it is exciting as organizers and folks that are participating have been saying that, we'll let it organically develop and see where it goes next. And I think that's right. I think it's impossible to say what the spark will be. I hope where it first of all goes next is growth. And again, growth with getting these movements that have been talking specifically about bank accountability involved. And I think that's the legs. That's the legs this needs to turn into something that can change policy.
I'm hearing a little tension between the community groups from you, between the community groups agenda and the labor agenda. Do you feel that's a real issue?
I don't know. I think there is plenty of room, and one of the things that is really smart about this space is that there's plenty of room for everybody to come at it from their angle. And so I think there's plenty of room for labor. I think there's plenty of room for community groups. There's plenty of room for everybody.
Are there any lessons being learned here from Wisconsin in the sense that I'm sort of aware of a similar progression of the protest?
Yeah. Well, I think what we do want to keep in mind is what was important about Wisconsin is there was stuff that was at stake that put the people who have power and have power to change in an uncomfortable position. And I think as this moves forward, that needs to be at the forefront as well, is how do we put the people who have the power to change and to make change in an uncomfortable position? And how do we do that in focusing on the change we want to see happen? And I think what was brilliant in Wisconsin is that it did that. It was focused at this point of conflict in the state legislature, and we're here feet away from the hellmouth of predation, and so if we can figure out how to keep the focus on the banks and their accountability, and the fact that their wealth comes from the poverty of some of the folks that will be out here marching today, I think that's what we need.
All right, from the hellmouth of predation, Wright's words. You can find his writing at The Nation. I hope that we get to catch up with you throughout the day. Thanks a lot.
Indeed. Thanks for having me.
You need me to